friends! Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Elizabeth. My channel is called Nursing and Makeover. Today's video is going to be my first impressions of my new palette that just came in the mail, and it's by Revolution, Makeup Revolution, and it's the Emily Edit. So if you don't follow Emily Noel 83 on YouTube or on social media, she is one of the OG YouTubers. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She is just incredibly authentic and very heartwarming. She's just very real. She gives extremely honest reviews. She's very kind. She's always very positive. You don't see her getting involved in YouTube drama or anything like that. And so she is just one of those people that I feel like when I watch her videos, I feel like I'm just a friend hanging out with my friend. And so she's never collaborated with any makeup company or anything in the past, and recently she did this very touching, emotional launch video about her new collection, which is with Makeup Revolution, and she did a palette called The Wants, which I have here, and then she also did a palette called The Needs, which I opted not to purchase because I felt that this was just the ultimate purchase that I would make. The Needs, which is the smaller companion palette, and I'll put a little frame, a picture of it in frame, but the Needs is a very basic face and eye palette, and I think that for someone who has a smaller makeup collection or is just getting started with their makeup collection, it'd probably be a really great fit. For me, The Wants really represents my makeup collection, and I just felt so incredibly inspired by these shades. They're all the shades that I gravitate towards. Wearable neutrals and pops of fun color. And the packaging, this is pretty large. Here is my Jaclyn Hill palette right here, and then this is the Emily palette. And the Jaclyn Hill palette is larger, but the Emily palette is a very large palette as well. This is I just filed my nails down, so I don't know if you can hear it, but this is nice plastic. I love that it's that millennial pink, which is one of my favorite colors. And it has an incredible, this mirror, I don't want to blind you, but this mirror is really, really nice, super nice. Though this is not a super portable palette for, it's not super small, obviously. I think that if you have a makeup bag that allows you to travel with this would be a perfect travel palette because you can set up shop with this massive mirror. And then the shade selection, if you like that shade selection, is really awesome. Without further ado, I want to jump into this video where I'm going to just make an eye look using this palette and talk about how it's working out for me while I'm doing the look. And yeah, we'll get started. Okay, so I have you guys zoomed in, and I primed my eyes off camera with Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Eden. And I just am going to jump into using the first shade I'm going to use is the cream. It's going to be, give me a moment to get used to having this in frame because it's such a big palette. So I'm going to use the cream, and let's see, going in with just a fluffy brush. There doesn't appear to be a lot of kickback in the pan, so I just want to place this lightly all over the eye. And the reason that I do this is just to make sure that my primer doesn't get too sticky with my shadows and have them apply patchy or anything like that. And also because I tend to have oilier eyelids, and if I don't prime and do a little setting, then sometimes my eyeshadows break up over the day. Alright, so that applied really nicely, and I don't feel like I had to do a lot with it. The next shade that I want to go into, Prayer, right here. This looks like a nice kind of mauvey, rosy, dusty rose tone. And I want to pick up a blending brush. I'm just going to use a Wet n Wild blending brush. And I have a little bit of kickback in the pan, but nothing, you can't really see in my monitor, but nothing insane. And let's see, I'm gonna dust my brush off. There's definitely some powder coming off, but nothing I'm not used to. And I just wanna lightly apply, oh wow. This is pigmented. I was not expecting that. Side note, this is my first time ever using anything by Revolution Beauty. Or, I'm not even sure. Makeup Revolution, that's what it is. Revolution Beauty, what is that? Is that even a company? Oh wow, this is a lot more pigmented than I thought it would be, and also it applied, I feel like, really easily. Like, I was not expecting that. All right. This is, like, honestly, this is more intense than I was initially going for, and I just wasn't expecting it to be so pigmented. I'm gonna take a clean blending brush and just try and soften the edges a little bit. All right, next thing I want to do, I think I want to go into the shade Cheer, which is like a very raspberry looking shade. And I think I'm going to do that with is an e.l.f. contour brush actually. And I'm just going to go into Cheer, dust off the excess, and start applying this in the outer corner of my eye. I'm first going to just sort of touch it down where I want it. That is also super pigmented, but now I'm not as surprised since that first shade really caught me by surprise. And I want to run it right along the lash line in the outer V as well. And work it just slightly up into my crease on the outer edge. Oh, this is really pretty. I want to take that blank blending brush I'd been using and just blend. I don't know if you can see, but this, and I think it might be this brush because I don't love this brush. This is like a brush I got off Amazon. It's just a little bit patchy right there. But I don't think this is something that I can't work with. And it's fading really nicely as I blend it out. Like, it's really pretty. I'm gonna go back in with Cheer and just dust it on right there in the corner. I am loving this shade, and I really think I'm gonna like this overall look. I didn't have a pre-planned look idea with this either. I just wanted to, like, I felt very inspired by this palette. I wanted to open it and let it kind of speak to me, if you will. Just sort of like choose your own adventure. But I really feel like this color story overall is just, it's really, it makes sense, and it offers you a lot of on-trend but like timeless look options. And I just can't quit this Cheer shade. I just like can't quit it. I keep going back in with it because I'm like in love with the rosiness of it, and just, it's very much like modern Renaissance vibes. It doesn't feel like drugstore to me. It just really doesn't. Does it feel quite like Anastasia? No, but it's also a totally different formula, and I also enjoy it's not as powdery, because sometimes when I'm in a hurry, it's just tough to work with how powdery Anastasia can be. But I don't get me wrong, I love Anastasia shadows. Like over here, I'm having like a little bit of patchiness, and I think this might be user error and not product error. This is kind of my trouble eye as well. I don't like how this eye is turning out as much as I like how this one is. The next thing I want to do is start going in with some of the shimmers. And I think that to complement this look, I actually want to try some of the purpley tones. I want to go in with Pizzazz, which is right above of Cheer. And it reads to me, sorry, I'm really bad at pointing. It reads to me as like a purpley pink. Emily had said that these shadows work really well, the shimmers do, with you kind of smudging them on. So I want to start by using my finger and tapping. So I've picked up some Pizzazz on my finger, and I just want to lay this down in the center of my lid. Okay. It's pretty, and I feel like this is, okay, so here's my thought process on shimmers that perform like this. Number one is that a lot of us are used to really creamy shimmers that have probably a lot of mineral oil or something similar to mineral oil in them that makes it so that when you swatch them, they're not stiff at all. They're very like wet looking on the eye and hyperpigmented. But for places like potentially being in the office or the workplace, it can be really tough to wear those colors and feel confident, especially when like there's no muting them. They're just always hyperpigmented. I like that this, I've just been using my finger and just gently applying, and I feel like it's been very buildable. Like you could do a little bit on the eye and get a very like subtle look, or you can build it up and get a more intense pigmentation. And I respect that. Like, I also think that, you know, this is a drugstore product, and my expectation is not Natasha Denona level. I want the shadows to work, and I don't want to have it to be a Broadway production to make them work. And so far, I'm not experiencing trouble that leads me to feel like this is just not a good buy. And I literally just did that with my finger. Like, it was really easy. And I like the look of it. I like that a lot. It like marries perfectly with the colors that I chose. Now I want to go in with the color Eve Rose, which is right here. Eve Rose is this one, sorry. It's right above Pizzazz. And the reason I'm holding this upside down is so I don't blind you with that giant mirror thing. This is a Morphe E35. This is teeny tiny. I want to pick this up on my brush like that, and I want to spray it. Well, actually, before I spray it, let me just try it on the lid as is, and then I suspect I'll have to spray it. But I just want to pack this on in like the inner 1/3 of the eye. It's not applying. I don't know if you can tell. It is applying, but I want to try wetting it. I'm going to use Fix Plus. It's just not very pigmented. Let me try my finger. First, let me swatch it. It's pretty. It's really pretty. It's like a pinky gold. But I think this might be better as an all over the lid color, and it's just not showing up with the dark shades that I've done. I'm not totally loving the Eve Rose that I added to this look, which is unfortunate because I'm trying to work it out. Actually, I do think it's pretty. It's just not working out exactly like how I had like envisioned it would, and so that's always a letdown. I'm gonna pop it on the other eye, and then I'm gonna dive back into the palette. Okay, so overall I do think that Eve Rose works, and I think that she does work with this look. It just wasn't, I was expecting Eve Rose to actually be kind of purpley, and she's actually like a goldeny pink and very duochrome-y. I think that if you put down a primer and put Eve Rose all over the lid and maybe went with a very light hand and something like Cupcake over here, I think that would be a really pretty look, and I would like to try that in the future. But I really actually like how this looks on my eyes, and I say we move forward. I want to do Oh Heavens, which is right here. Oh Heavens looks like, okay, this is like incredibly tough to work with on camera. Oh Heavens right here looks like it's soft, like a very goldy champagne-y shade, and I want to use that on my inner corner. I'm gonna use the same brush that has a little Eve Rose on it, because I don't mind if a little Eve Rose gets in the inner corner. And just pop this on the inner corner. I think that's really pretty. I want to use the shade Capricorn right here. This looks like kind of a winey brown. And I want to run this right under my eye along the lash line. It definitely has kind of like a purpley redness to it that I think is playing nicely with the look that I've selected. And I want to go in with some cheer also, just to kind of tie it a little, just right here in the corner. Kind of tie it in more with my top lid. Let's see. Next, I want to go in, I'm going to use a really like short definer smudge brush. And I want to go in with Prayer and put this right under the rest of my eye. I want to go again with a little bit more cheer and just dust. I want to go in again with Capricorn and really concentrate that. I can't believe this is Emily's palette. Like, it's so exciting to me. What do you guys think so far? Do you think I pulled through with Eve Rose? I think I might add a little more Eve over here. All right, so I want to do, that's weird seeing my lips do that on camera. Let's see, I'm gonna go in with my Sigma small angle, and I want to wet my brush and use Darken Early, and I want to line my upper lash line. Oh yeah. Darken Early is working. I am loving this. There's like, it's really windy outside because we're in a hurricane, and I keep thinking that something's going to like fall down on my house. I'm like really anxious about it. I'm worried. All right, so I have my liner, or my little like shadow liner on. I think I'm gonna go off camera and do my mascara and my lash. Oh, sorry, I don't use lashes. I curl my lashes, but I don't use fake lashes. Man, that's like, wait, the glue, ugh, like I can't do it. It's rough. It's rough times. I can't. I'm gonna make sure that in like normal real life light, this looks like how I want it to look. And if I want to edit anything or change anything, I'm gonna hop back on and tell you what I changed. But I'm just gonna pop off camera and put on mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have applied my mascara and curled my lashes, and prior to that I set my face with some of my Pixie Fixing Mist. I wanted to apply just a little like gloss on camera. This is a Becca Glow Gloss, and I thought that it would be just a pretty neutral shade to give my lips some shine and some hydration without taking away from the eye look. When I do my eyes bold, I really like to do like a very minimal lip. And I used to try and like match my lipstick to my eye look, but then I felt like it just like overpowered my face and just was a lot of makeup going on. My final thoughts on this palette, and keep in mind these are first impression thoughts. So I used the shades, the cream. Let me get this in frame. I used the cream and I used that for my all over base, and I liked that. It was very like, it wasn't too much, like it wasn't too dusty or anything like that. Then I went in with Prayer right here, and that was just a beautiful, like more pigmented than I expected it to be, dusty rose. And then I used a lot of cheer, which I really enjoyed, very winey raspberry shade, like extremely pretty. Pizzazz was easy to work with, just like tapped it on the outer half of my eye. And then I had to work a bit with Eve Rose, but once I realized what she's meant to be versus what I was expecting her to be, I really like that color. And I think that it is like very, very pretty with the colors that I selected. Like I stand behind this color now that I've like given it a little bit of effort, basically put some effort into it. And I don't think that it needs Fix Plus. I think that the key to these shimmers may just be applying them with your finger and tapping them on, but also doing a little bit of rubbing and just seeing which works best for you. So with that said, if you're someone who doesn't like to apply eyeshadow with a finger, or you have very long nails, this palette might be a little difficult for you. Oh, and I used Oh Heavens for my inner corner, and I think that's a really nice highlight. It's not too blinding. It's a good everyday. You know, if you wanted to do a matte highlight, I think you could do the cream. And then if you're someone who's really comfortable with doing colorful inner corners or something like that, I think there's some other options in here if you wanted to give color a shot. Like off the top of my head, perhaps Grateful would be kind of fun to use in your inner corner. So overall, what do I think of this palette? Would I recommend it? Obviously, this is a first impression review, but number one, I am an Emily fan, and like, hang on just a second, I'm gonna zoom out. There we go. You're like, I'm trying to show things on camera, but I'm like, have you zoomed in like for when I was doing my eyeshadow. So number one, if you're an Emily fan, I think that this is probably something that's been on your radar and is likely speaking to you, but maybe you've held off on purchasing it because you haven't seen it in store or it's just not been in stock. Currently, it's in stock online. I have never been able to see it available in store, and I've checked multiple times at different Ultas, and it's just always sold out. I had swatched an in-store sample of it, and I did think that it seemed really nice. From my using it today and also some of the swatches I did, I feel like the mattes are the shining stars of this palette in the sense of bang for your buck. Like they seem like they perform better than just a drugstore shadow. Honestly, I think that the mattes I used today performed on a par with some like Sephora brands, so I was really impressed with them. For the shimmers, I think that they're going to be less easy to use than like the very high-end shimmers that you're used to using. And I think that the thing that surprised me is that Fix Plus didn't really do much for the shimmer. It's really like if you use your finger, you're gonna have better color payoff. So I think that you gotta be honest with yourself on what you're willing to do to make a shimmer work. But I feel like the look that I've done today indicates, to me at least, and you let me know in the comments, but to me, it shows me that these shimmers are actually beautiful. You just might have to take a little bit of effort and use your fingers to make them work to their full potential. Now, keep in mind, I've only tried 2 of the shimmers, and Pizzazz for me was a little easier to get pigmentation out of, but Eve Rose is a light shade that I put on a like darker matte base. So I think that I kind of set myself up for Eve Rose to not perform as well as I would initially thought it would. Overall, I'm like 10 out of 10 satisfied with this look. And also when I used Darken Early for my liner, super dark and pigmented, no shimmer. Thank goodness Emily did not put glitter in a black shadow. Like that is one of my pet peeves, is glitter in a matte shadow, but particularly glitter in a black shadow. Because for me, I use black shadow for liner and for deepening a smoky eye, and glitter just doesn't belong there. And so I'm so glad that Darken Early is like a good black matte. Like it works. I really like it. So I think that if you're an Emily fan, this might be speaking to you. If you are looking for a drugstore palette or a palette that's in a drugstore budget range that has a lot of different colors, a lot of different options, but is extremely wearable, I think this is a really great option. Like I seriously think that this palette is probably really gonna end up being in my heavy rotation. But also I think that this is just a nice palette in general, and for the price point, it's a $20 palette, but Ulta has pretty much forever coupons available to at least get $3.50 or like 20% off of anything from the drugstore end of the store. So I didn't pay $20 for this. And in fact, when I ordered it, I also received a free palette in the mail. Like, what? I got a free palette and it looks really pretty. I mean, I haven't used it. I can't speak to this palette. But if you are ordering around the time of the release on Ulta.com, you might actually get like a free gift that's pretty nice. So, but yeah, overall, I'm satisfied with this purchase. I would repeat purchase it again. I think the color story is stunning. And the next set of looks that I want to try is to use the colors like Grateful, Side Hustle, Corduroy. Like I really want to use Grateful, Side Hustle, Corduroy, Top Story. I think that's going to be where I hit next. I'm very excited. I enjoy this look. I don't think it looks like, oh, you used drugstore shadows to make that eyeshadow look. No, this looks really pretty. No, like I think it looks really good. So yay. I mean, maybe Makeup Revolution is like a brand I'd purchase from again in the future, but either way, Emily, I'm so happy for you. This is such a great palette. You hit it out of the park, and I hope that other people out there enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying it already. So let me know in the comments what you think of this look and just what you think of the collection and the palette. And if you have any shades in the palette that you'd like to see me do an eye look with, let me know, because I think that I'm not done filming with this palette. Like I want to do some more looks with it. So just let me know what you want to see in the future. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye!